South Africa is very much a bakkie country, and if we're talking family or leisure applications, then the double cab 4x2 is king. The problem, of course, is that double cabs don't come cheaply. So, enter the Foton Tunland, a Chinese-built, affordable double cab that still offers a lot in terms of luxury, comfort, space, and even style. The 4x2 double cab segment is one of the pickup market's most closely contested sectors, with established players like the Ford Ranger, the Toyota Hilux and the Isuzu KB, amongst others, dominating proceedings. The Tunland's approach is to place the emphasis squarely on value for money, linking an attractive asking price to lots of pep, spec and space. Generic is perhaps the best way to describe the styling of the Foton Tunland. It has that typical tall and muscular bakkie stance, but the look is just too derivative to have an identity of its own. Of particular note here, the bold wheel arches and the very narrow rear screen. The aesthetic execution is more pragmatic than pretty, but it's an approach that suits the Tunland's no-nonsense character. One can't help but detect some Isuzu inspiration in the shape and proportions of the double cab, even though the bold chrome grille and Foton logo confirm its Chinese origins. The load bay offers just more than a cubic metre of cargo space and will accommodate a payload of 925 kilograms. Our test unit's frame-mounted tonneau cover looked smart, but the arrangement isn't all that practical in practice. If you're prepared to look past the lashings of fake wood, the cabin is actually a comfortable and well-spec'd place with lots of luxury features, including a CD player, electric windows and mirrors, and even 2 airbags. Pity then about all this scratch-prone plastic. Those plastic bits are likely to become scruffy over time, but that aside, the accommodation on offer is roomy, while the comprehensive list of standard kit adds to the cabin's appeal. ABS brakes with electronic brake force distribution provide additional peace of mind. The Tunland's engine is both its strongest attribute and its greatest disappointment. Developed by Cummins in the US, the 4-cylinder turbo-diesel intercooled unit has 120 kilowatts of maximum power on tap, together with 360 newton meters, and no wonder then that it offers a lot of lusty, lively performance. But, disappointingly, it sounds absolutely agricultural, and it's rough around the edges. It's a lack of refinement that used to be acceptable in the pickup market, but the Foton's competitors now offer both ample urge and smoother, more sophisticated mechanicals. The Tunland's gruff engine may sound macho, but it becomes tedious on longer journeys. That said, it doesn't get in the way of the bakkie's dynamic capabilities. The Tunland isn't scared of the rough stuff, and it tackles both tar and dirt with enthusiasm. The rugged suspension easily copes with ruts and rocks, and it feels reassuringly solid. Bakkies aren't really supposed to be performance machines, but the Tunland is pretty willing when it comes to the straight line stuff. The turbo diesel engine, a lot of bottom end grunt, and the result is that first gear is almost too short. You feel like you should be taking off in second gear most of the time, and wheel spin very much part of the deal if you're not careful with the clutch. In terms of ride, a little bit on the bumpy side, of course, better if you do have a load on the back, but in general, typically bakkie stuff. And the one thing I do miss here is a diff lock, which would make this vehicle much more competent in the off-road stuff. Like the engine, the ride quality isn't the most refined, with the rear leaf springs offering too much rebound, but the handling is relatively vice-free. With no load on the back, the rear can feel a bit loose, especially on gravel, but add some cargo to the load bay and the balance improves significantly. Those smaller 16-inch wheels with their taller profile tyres may not look all that sexy, but they do benefit overall comfort levels. Power steering takes the effort out of steering, but its slow action means you can get busy behind the wheel on gravel surfaces. The Foton Tunland might be Chinese, but there's nothing cheap or nasty about this vehicle. In fact, it's pretty well built, it has decent spec, and it has performance that's quite impressive. But at just under 250,000 Rand, including a 3-year 100,000 kilometer warranty and a 2-year 40,000 kilometer service plan, it's value that is this vehicle's strongest virtue. A turbo diesel engine with lots of grunt is at the core of a mechanical package that feels powerful if lacking in refinement, even by Bakkie standards. A useful list of comfort and safety features and outstanding value are also among the Tunland's attributes, but it may be a little too rough around the edges for some.